All right, Angela, thanks so much. All right, if you're a parent who's struggled to find childcare, you might want to listen up to this story.
Yeah, Indiana lawmakers right now are considering a bill that supporters say would provide more childcare in our state for parents who need it. Emily Longnecker tonight is here to explain how this bill would work.
Well, the work on this bill really started last summer in a summer study committee that found 4 out of 10 Hoosier kids live in a child care desert, meaning that there is no child care available. That not only affects them, but their parents' ability to work. When Maureen Weber picks up the phone at Early Learning Indiana, many times a parent is on the other end asking for help.
Their frustration level is just incredibly high.
That's because Weber says the parent often can't find childcare, which means they can't get to work.
It's just a very urgent need for young families all across Indiana.
Thursday morning, Weber and more than a dozen others testified in support of Senate Bill 2, including the lawmaker who wrote it.
Lack of child care affects every part of our economy.
Supporting the child care workforce means supporting the rest of the economy. Without adequate staff, child care centers can't operate, which means fewer available workers in other sectors of the economy.
Senate Bill 2 allows more people to be eligible to work at a center by lowering the age requirement from 21 to 18. Child care employees also would have more access to federal and state money to pay for their own child care needs. Studies show the average child care employee in Indiana makes $12 an hour. Weber says Early Learning Indiana pays above that average, and still hiring and retaining employees is hard, which means they can serve fewer children.
Out of the 1,300 or so seats that we operate, we have several hundred that are currently closed off because we simply can't staff them with qualified staff.
Senate Bill 2 calls for studying how much child care employees in Indiana make. It would also set up 3 smaller child care centers in rural areas of the state where there's no access to child care. The proposed law would also make it easier for public and charter schools to be cleared to provide pre-K services on site. All of it say supporters a first step in growing the state's child care workforce.
It's not the silver bullet, but it definitely contains a number of really good things that will help first attract and retain workers, but also help the whole system process a little bit, function more efficiently.
Lawmakers who support this bill call this an infrastructure issue to Indiana and point to the fact that companies who are thinking about setting up shop here in this state, one of the first questions they have is the access to child care for their employees. Senate Bill 2 passed out of committee today unanimously. At the Indiana State House, Emily Longnecker, 13 News.